Hi everyone. Before I do the main content of this video, this is the second time doing this, just want to let you know, or second time attempting this, just want to let you know that this channel will be deleted eventually when I find a decent alternative to YouTube. I thought I'd found one, but it seems that it's not as good as it needs to be after all. It should be obvious to most people the reasons that I need an alternative to YouTube. If you look, you'll see it says Wiccan Minister. YouTube might delete it for that reason alone, because that's obviously not my real name, because I don't want my real name everywhere. You know, I don't mind telling people my name, but I don't want it in every single place on the internet, especially if I happen to comment or like something and I forgot that I'm signed into Google at the time, so it would say exactly who it is. You know, I don't want every Tom, Dick and Harry to know my name. I don't mind giving it, but I want the choice of whether to give it or not. And of course, there's the reconnection error, which I'm sure all of you who are watching this who've ever made a video have experienced. Anyway, this is a bit of a random video. This is a video at least partly about the challenges of being a Wiccan minister and trying to abide by your beliefs when people upset you and annoy you, especially those who you consider friends, which, as I'm sure you know, hurts more. I am an ordained minister of the Universal Life Church Monastery. I've started an organisation called the International Coven of Christian Wicca. Right now it's partly only international in an internet-based sense, in that people from different countries can access it. However, it does have a member in the USA, and I want to start a branch of it in the USA. I want to start branches of it across the world. Christian Wicca is basically a blending of Wiccan and Christian beliefs. Now, some people say you can't do that because the Bible speaks against witchcraft. The Bible does, unless you believe that there was a mistranslation and it actually referred to poison. However, if you ask 100 Christians what Christianity is, you'll probably get 100 different answers. And if you look at the dictionary definitions of Wicca and Christianity, you will see that there's nothing in them that suggests they can't be blended. So the International Coven of Christian Wicca is mainly a Wiccan organisation, but it's got Christian beliefs to it as well, such as the belief in Jesus as our God, belief in forgiveness, etc. Now, as I mentioned, I'm an ordained minister via the Universal Life Church Monastery, and this should mean, because I wanted to make sure that I was certain about it before I did it, even though it's easy to do, this should mean that I should be spiritual and peaceful and things like that. And most of the time I am, but there's been some incidents this year that have caused me to act in a very non-Wiccan type of way. One was a friend who really hurt me. She'd been a friend for years, and more recently it was someone who'd only been a friend for a while, but we really clicked, and then basically as soon as somebody else moved in the house, she totally changed. And I've responded in a retaliatory kind of way. I'm not going to give details of exactly what I did, but I responded in a retaliatory kind of way. But since then, I've kind of remembered my Wiccan beliefs and decided to try to be more spiritual. And when they get back from wherever they've gone over the Christmas period. They're students, so they've gone to their, I guess, their family's main homes for Christmas. When they get back, I'm not going to, try to be friends with them, because that would just be difficult and awkward. And I'm moving out soon anyway, well, at the end of this month. But I'm going to try to be more spiritual, because the Wiccan Rede does clearly say, "And ye harm none, do what ye will." And it also clearly mentions the threefold law, which is basically a kind of law of karma, that what energy you send out, negative or positive, will be returned to you in some form. But even though that's I guess a kind of punishment, even though I've considered that, that's not the reason that I've decided to be more spiritual and more Wicca-like, or more Wiccan-like. It's because I don't actually remember exactly what triggered this, but I think it's generally because I don't want to hurt people. I hate hurting people, and I do it. When I do it, I do it either out of anger, or, and this is usually the case, or out of me hurting myself. So, I feel hurt, so I want to make them feel how I feel. And that's wrong and very un-Wiccan. So if you're feeling that way yourself, if somebody has hurt you, and you feel like you want to hurt them, then if you're a Wiccan, try to remember the Wiccan Rede and think of how they might feel after you've finished hurting them back. Because then there'll be two people hurting instead of just one. Not that just one's okay, but why make things worse, especially as you will probably regret it later on, and you can't turn back time. And if you're a Christian, basically the same applies, but with regards to Christianity, remember what Jesus said about loving thy neighbour. According to the New Testament, he was specifically asked, which is the greatest commandment, or which is the great commandment? And his response was basically, I don't remember the exact words, but, or maybe I do, but it was basically, the first is love God with, I think he said, all thy mind, all thy heart, all thy soul, and all thy body. And the second is like unto it, love thy neighbour as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Not some of it, not a bit of it, but all of it. So the whole of the Bible rests on those two commandments. Love God and love thy neighbour. And obviously love thy neighbour can be interpreted in different ways, but I think it's quite clear to anyone that if you are doing things to make your neighbour feel upset, or to make your neighbour feel harmed, then you're clearly not loving them, and it's clearly going against that commandment, or at least you're not showing love to them, even if deep down you do love them. So anyway, my time on this video's almost up, and I don't want to risk the reconnection error again, but just remember how you might feel if you finished hurting someone, because you might just have made yourself feel even worse. So remember, try to follow your beliefs, and try especially to treat others not as you think they deserve to be treated, but as you want to be treated yourself. Thanks for listening.